Hello crochet lovers, how are you? Well, last week we learned to make this basic triangle shaped shawl with a very simple crochet stitch. If you still haven't seen the tutorial, I'll leave it on the pull down eye, which you can find in this video's top part. Well, today I'll show you the edge I promised in the lover's knot stitch, which is also called Solomon stitch. To finish this video, I will show you how to block our shawl. And that technique can be used to block any other project. The first thing we're going to do is a very simple edge with single crochet stitches in the top part of the shawl. That's the part for the shoulders and the neck. Remember that the part we want to have visible for this shawl has to be facing us while we crochet. And the other part has to be on the other side. So here, what we're going to do is insert the hook in the corner in the upper right part. We bring in the yarn again. We make one chain. And now, since we don't have normal stitches where we can crochet, but instead we have double crochet stitches on the side, and these knots from the single crochets, what we'll do is make 2 single crochets in each of these holes and 1 single crochet in each knot. Okay? So for example, here we can take advantage and hide this extra yarn, so we don't have to do it later. In this hole, we'll make 2 single crochets. Then, in the knot from the line we made with the single crochets, wherever we can, we'll insert the hook. And there, we'll make just 1 single crochet. And we repeat this all over the edge until we get to the other side, the other corner of the shawl. Here we have finished the upper edge with single crochets. We'll continue working here. This is the last single crochet, and after that last stitch, we'll begin directly with the lover's knot stitch. For the lover's knot, we'll begin by pulling through some yarn. That's the first step. We pull through about 1.5 or 2 centimeters. The length will determine how loose the lover's knot will be. So if we want it to be very loose, we can pull through more yarn. We press the yarn with our fingers, and then we'll make 1 chain. Here we'll have a tear-shaped loop. And in that tear-shaped hole, we'll make 1 single crochet. It is important to hold this very tightly, or the yarn becomes more loose and we have to start over. That's the single crochet over the tear-shaped hole, and this is a lover's knot. We have 1 knot ready. We'll keep making them all over our edge. So we have the yarn here, over the single crochet. We pull it. Notice that we have to try and make all the knots with the same size. Here we make a chain now. We have the tear, and in there we'll make 1 single crochet. And now we have 2 knots. Whenever we have those 2 knots ready, we'll bring them down to the edge. We'll skip 2 windows from the body of our shawl, and in the double crochet from the second window, right in the stitch on top of it, we'll make a single crochet. And just like that, we'll create sort of a triangle with the lover's knot. It will be clearer later on, but that's the triangle. And for the first row, we'll make triangles all over the edge, and in the next ones, we'll complete the rows with diamonds with the same stitch. I'll repeat the instructions again, but we just have to do the same over and over until we get to the end. The first thing is to pull the yarn we have on the hook already. Then we hold it tight and we make 1 chain. we have the tier, and in that tier we make 1 single crochet. There we have another lover's knot here, and we make 1 more. So we pull the yarn that's already on the hook. Remember to make it equal in size. We hold tight, make 1 chain. We have now the tier, and in there we make 1 single crochet. When we have the 2 knots, we come back down. We skip 2 windows, and in the double crochet from the second window, right on it we make a single crochet. And that would be our second triangle with the lover's knot stitch. We have to do this until we get to the other side, all over our shawl's bottom edge. Okay, we're at the other side now. This was the last single crochet after the last lover's knot, and we are at the other corner of the shawl's bottom part. This is the first row. Remember, we made this sort of triangles. These are the triangle tips. And now for the second row, what we'll do is finish off those triangles to form some diamonds. So to change rows now, we'll make 3 lover's knots, just like the ones we were doing. There we have the 3 knots, and now we just turn the project. Now we have to look for the tip of the first triangle, that single crochet that works as a tip, and right there we'll make another single crochet. And that's how we begin our second row. This would be the first diamond for the second row. There we have the 4 sides. Later on we'll see it more clearly. Right now it doesn't look like anything really. Now we keep crocheting 2 lover's knots, and we attach them at the tip of the next triangle. Let's see how it's done. We make 1 and 2 knots. There they are, 2. We look for the tip of the next triangle below this single crochet stitch, and right there we make another single crochet. We have formed another diamond here. 4 lover's knots make 1 diamond. And we keep crocheting like this for the whole row until we get to the other side. 2 knots, and 1 single crochet at the tip of the next triangle. We have completed this row with the lover's knot stitch, and we can see now all those diamonds. And now we'll make the last one. We just made a single crochet at the tip of the last triangle, and now we'll create the last diamond. For this, we'll make 3 lover's knots, just like we did at the beginning of the row. Great! We have the 3 knots ready, and now we'll go right to the corner of the shawl that's below the knots. And we'll make 1 single crochet there. That's how we make the last diamond for this second row. For the next row, we'll release the hook because we need to start crocheting from here, the highest part of the diamond. So we'll cut the yarn here, then we turn the project, and here we'll identify the highest tip of the diamond in the corner. Those are the 4 sides, so we go to the highest tip, and right there we'll bring the yarn back in so we can start again. We bring in the yarn, and we create a chain to set the yarn down. And in this third row, we'll make 2 knots. And we attach them at the tip of the next diamond. 2 knots, and connect to the next diamond's tip. It looks like this. We make 2 knots. Right there. And then we look for the next diamond tip, which is here. And in that stitch, we'll attach the knots with the single crochet stitch. We'll hide those threads later. Don't worry about them now. Now, we just have to repeat it. 2 knots. And we attach them at the tip of the next diamond. That's how this third row looks. Our lover's knot stitch is more visible. You can see it more clearly. So we keep making these same instructions for all this row until we get to the other side. 2 knots and we attach. We're almost at the end now. We made the last 2 knots and now we'll make the last single crochet at the tip of the last diamond. So this is how we finish that third row with the lover's knot stitch. This is how it looks now. I think that third row makes our stitch more visible, noticeable, and pretty. And we can keep making as many rows as we want. We just need to repeat the instructions for rows 2 and 3, 2 and 3. Now I'll make one more row, which will be the last for me, but you can continue making as many rows as you want. This is how the edge looks with the lover's knot stitch. And like I said in the beginning, we can use our shawl now, or we have the option to block it, which is what I'll show you next. This is done so our shawl has a more defined shape. To block a project, we just need cold water and a little bit of regular hand soap. We mix them both. Remember, the water needs to be very cold. And now we bring in our shawl or our project. We damped it very softly and carefully not to damage the stitches we already made. We have to leave it there a while and then we'll press it dry. Be careful not to squeeze too hard, just enough to make the water come out of the yarn. But remember that everything has to be done very softly, so we don't damage the stitches we already made. We can also leave it there for a while so the water dries out, and then we'll set it on our bed or a flat surface, preferably on top of a towel so we don't get our bed wet. And now we just have to give it a triangle shape, of course. And the most important part here is to open up the lover's knot stitches so that they remain like that, and that they are very visible when our shawl dries. In some blocked projects, we can use needles, but we don't use them here because this is not a complicated shape. It's just a triangle. Just keep in mind that you have to open up the lover's knot stitch. And that's it. Once it dries, our shawl will be ready to wear, with a more defined shape and a very open and visible lover's knot stitch. See you in the next tutorial. Have a great time, crochet lovers!